Thanks so much for being here today. I'm Kat Black from Google's AI DevRel team, and I'm here to talk to you about Gemma. With me, teammate Gus Martins. I'll touch on how we got here today, our journey to the Gemma models, and Gus will touch more on some of the announcements you've heard about, as well as how you can actually build with Gemma. So taking us back a bit, we're incredibly proud of the work that Google's been doing for the past decade, leading the way in AI ML research. This goes back to the work with openly published models that Google's been doing. And Google DeepMind continues to lead the way and publish work that can be used for everyone to explore, validate, and share for the work to openly use. But Google's support for the open community for AI ML isn't just limited to published work. This is just a snapshot of the work that Google's been doing. And to highlight just a few pieces here, we have the breakthrough brought by hardware, TPUs, and the evolution of ML frameworks from TensorFlow to JAX, the Transformers paper, and the release of BERT. Throughout all of this, open development has been critical to us discovering more, innovating faster, and challenging the impossible. So why does openness matter? Well, we believe that AI is for everyone, not just for those who can afford huge compute investments. It's about meeting developers where you are, getting worldwide feedback, and partnering with the open ecosystem is what we consider a proven path to success. And building with Google on a proven and trusted ecosystem is what gets world-class tuning and optimization for every developer, seamlessly integrated with Google Cloud across Vertex and GKE. And so this brings us to our latest investment in open models, Gemma, a family of lightweight, state-of-the-art open models built from the same research and technology used to create Gemini models. But what are the superpowers of Gemma? Well, we built Gemma to be responsible by design. This means incorporating comprehensive safety measures. These models help ensure responsible and trustworthy AI solutions through curated data sets and rigorous tuning. Gemma brings unmatched performance at size. The models achieve exceptional benchmark results at the 2B and 7B sizes, even outperforming some of the larger open models. Extensibility and optimization. It's TPU and GPU optimized, multi-framework support, seamless device compatibility, and model customization empowering AI development. And we built Gemma with community-driven innovation in mind. So open access to models with world-class partners and extensive ecosystem fosters collaboration and AI advancements. So we built Gemma to be what you need for when you need it. We want Gemma, like I said, to be where developers are when you need. And so we made sure that Gemma's available across tooling like Keras, Kaggle, and Google Cloud, and in collaboration with our partners like Hugging Face and NVIDIA. This again allows you to use Gemma where you need, when you need, and how you need to with the tools that you're most used to. From 2 days after launch, we saw the community embracing the model, building further integrations into your tool chains, workflows. And here's what you've accomplished already. We've seen 30+ integrations, more than 5 million downloads, and 500+ spaces. This is what we had in mind when we talk about the community-driven piece of the Gemma story. And seeing all this engagement is incredibly exciting, and it's continued our commitment and motivation to improving the Gemma family of models. These are just a few of the beautiful examples of what we've seen our developers building thus far with Gemma models. As you heard probably in the keynote, Gemma's great at learning new languages, and the community has been doing just this. Going beyond the Indic languages that you saw in the video that was highlighted, there's also a German version, Korean version, and other languages. There's also combinations of models like Gemma. That's a mixture of experts based on Gemma. And there's so much more. Additionally, we have the academic research program. It recently concluded its initial application period, awarding Google Cloud credits to support researchers pushing the boundaries of scientific discovery using the Gemma models. We received over 1,000 applications, with cloud credits awarded to 120 applicants spanning 20 countries and 74 universities. We're so excited to see the groundbreaking research that emerges from this initiative, which has recently opened again. With the ongoing input and support from all of you in our community, we were able to improve the models even more and super quickly. As you heard in the keynote, we're thrilled to have announced even more launches. Last month, you heard Gemma 1.1 offers an update to Gemma with bug fixes thanks to your feedback. Performance improvements including multi-turn capabilities to state-of-the-art levels that surpass models 10 times larger. And Code Gemma. Code Gemma brings code completion, generation, and chat for developers and businesses. It's also compatible with platforms and frameworks like Keras, Hugging Face, NVIDIA, Gemma C++, and available on Vertex AI. And just now, we've most recently updated this as well. So we've launched Code Gemma 1.1, bumping its capabilities even further and making, for example, 7B instruction tuning even better. And then next, we also launched Recurrent Gemma, which makes efficient, faster inference at higher batch sizes for researchers. Recurrent Gemma is a technically distinct model that leverages recurrent neural networks and local attention to improve memory efficiency. With all these variants built upon Gemma's foundations and guided by the same principles of the original Gemma models. We can't wait to hear what you think about these models and to see what you keep building. If you're already building with the Gemma models, thank you. And if you haven't started yet, we hope that you join us. Gus is going to now come and talk to us more about the launches you just heard about and how you can keep building with Gemma.
Congrats. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Next. Yes. Hi, everyone. Following up on our talk here, I would like to talk what's new about the Gemma family of models. The guy will be upset with me. I fixed 9. So since the launch in February, we've been listening to the community, getting all the feedback, trying to understand what are the best use cases that you are showing to us and how we can improve and how to make the models better for you and for your applications. Yes. And one of the main requests we've got since the start, since we launched, first event, people are, where's the multimodal version? And that's exactly what we launched yesterday. With PolyGemma, we have the first visual language model based on Gemma from Google. And it receives as inputs text and image, and it can output image, so you can do image captioning, description, you can ask questions about the image, you can do object detection, image segmentation. It's very, very cool. I highly recommend you take a look on that. That's very, very good. It's based on previous research from Google, based on SIGLib and Gemma 2, of course. We are releasing many variations of this model. So there's pre-trained versions that are supposed for you to fine-tune on your own task. So you shouldn't deploy those directly, right? They are pre-trained for you to fine-tune further. We have the transfer versions, which are pre-trained models that are fine-tuned for specific tasks. So there are 50 of those. And they do one task very well. And they're mostly folks for researchers, right? So if you're a researcher, you want to take a look on some benchmark or to build something on that, that's the idea. But it's for one task. But if you want to do inference and you want to try it right now, I would suggest you take a look on the mixed version. They are pre-trained models that were fine-tuned for many tasks at the same time. So they can do all the things kind of at the same time. They can do image captioning, description, you can ask questions, you can do object detection, image segmentation based on simple prompts. So this is very good. We have the benchmarks. I'm not going to go into detail on all the numbers. This is all available in the documentation, in our model card. Those numbers are, of course, state-of-the-art. The team worked very hard to make this model the best possible. We have tutorials for you to play with the model, to do fine-tuning using JAX. We have tutorials for Keras coming soon. This model is also available on cloud, on Hugging Face, in many places. So it's very straightforward for you to start playing with this right now. It's available right now. Not right now. Wait for the finish of my talk, then you go play with that, right? And of course, the Gemma family of models is, as Kat showed, we had the Code Gemma, Recurrent Gemma, but we continue investing on it. That's because we think there's a huge opportunity here for everyone to learn with us, to build better products, to have these open models available to everyone. That's why we announced yesterday Gemma 2, which is coming in June. The idea here is to keep pushing for the best large language models possible for the open community. They, of course, will follow the same things that we've been doing, having available for all possible ML frameworks, being available everywhere, easy to use, with a great documentation and everything. It's coming late June. If you want to know more, you can talk to me later. But then the question comes is, okay, Gus, this is beautiful and all. How do I use it? The first place that you will go, that would start your journey, is on our documentation site, which is ai.google.dev/Gemma. All Gemma models are documented there. Code Gemma, Recurrent, Pali, all of them are there. You can see the tutorials, model card, overview, everything is there. And you can see also quick start. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But there's one specific thing you have to know before that. The Gemma model family, they have a license, right? We don't say they're open source, they're open models, right? They have a license, and you have to agree to this license before using the model, right? The license is commercial friendly. You can use it in your application if you want. The license is just to avoid bad use of the model, right? We have to, because the idea of having these models available to everyone is to improve for everyone. We try to avoid bad use of the model. To get access to the model, to go over the license, you can go to any of the places where the model is available. One of them is on Kaggle. Kaggle, if you don't know what it is yet, it's a ML community with millions of developers, and they are there sharing their knowledge, sharing data sets, sharing models, their competitions. This is an amazing place for you to start your journey of learning things. You can learn from the best from the field, and it's all there. They share their knowledge. And we also have the models part, where we have many, many models being shared there that you can go and download. Gemma and all the other Gemma family members are there, right? This is the main Gemma page. You can see here there's a line for request access. You just click there, go, yes, 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 and you get access to the model. After you did this, it's very straightforward to use the model. You can use anywhere, in your machine, on your phone, on the browser, anywhere you can use this model. We made sure to be available everywhere. Nice. Here, I'm going to give you an example using Keras, right? Technically, it's basically 2 lines of code, and they're on the bottom there. So you load the model. We are loading the Gemma 2B there, and the line below we call the generate method. The generate method will generate this text based on a prompt. The fun thing here is you don't see any download anything from anywhere, right? That's because Keras is taking care of that for you. When you do from preset there, it will go to Kaggle, download the model locally, load it to memory, make sure that it's completely runnable, and then you can just call generate as many times as you want. This also works, of course, on your own machine. Doesn't need to be on Colab, on cloud, anywhere you want to do that. And it will generate some text for you. Since we're talking about the Keras implementation, on Keras you can even go further. Instead of just calling generate to do some prompting and text generation, you can go and fine-tune the model. Keras implemented the LoRa API to make sure that you can fine-tune these models with less resources. Again, large language models are, well, large. So fine-tuning this kind of machine learning models usually takes a lot of resources, take a lot of time. Using the LoRa technique, it makes things way faster and keeping great quality of the final model, right? We implemented that, and after you enable LoRa, you can just call the fit method that if you are a Keras developer, you've done that many times, and you can save and have these LoRa weights. The fun thing is the 2B model has maybe 4 gigabytes of size, so it's large. The LoRa weight might be, I don't know, 5 megabytes. That's something, it's very, very tiny, so it's easy for you to even take to other places. Given I told you all of that, the next step would be go to the documentation. There you can see the full documentation of the modules, all of them. You have access to quick starts, tutorials, best practices, anything you may need from the model. All the information you get there. And we also added, yesterday or this week, we added a new tutorial to do a chat assistant with the Gemma models. So chat is an interesting aspect because when we do that as an open model, you understand exactly what's happening behind the curtains, right? How do you keep state? How do you keep a context? How do you keep the history? And how does the model behave over time? So this is a great tutorial. I highly recommend you take a look on that. Now that we know how to start using the model, where to learn more about it, the next question might be, okay, Gus, I understand, I can play with this, but I want to build an application, right? I want to deploy this. I want to do something more, professional, let's say like that, right? How do I do that? That's where we come back to our friends on Google Cloud, and there are a couple of options. First, let's talk about Vertex AI. Vertex AI is our AI and generative AI managed solution inside Google Cloud. There, you have access to all the best hardware and all the machines you may need. So, for example, here, if you take a look, you can have access to GPUs, you have access to TPUs, you have access to the model garden, which is a collection of selected best models available, including, of course, all the Gemma models, but others are there also. From there, you can do fine-tuning, you can keep building on that, and you can also deploy an endpoint to try your model and go even further and build agents. When we talk about Vertex AI, you have access to the latest TPU hardware available and also the latest GPU available from NVIDIA. We work a lot with our friends from NVIDIA, so you have access to L4s, you have access to H100s, all of that by just clicking and select. It's very, very straightforward, and you can deploy your models there. Here is the Gemma model card page on model garden. You can see that you have all the description there. You have more documentation license. We have a one-click button. You can just deploy. It will ask you like 2 questions, and you'll deploy an endpoint that you can use right away. So it's very straightforward. And if you are, I don't know about this model, I want more information. On the right side, there is a widget where you can try the model right there. You just type your prompt, and you play with the model here to see if you like it or not. You will like it, but you can try anyway. And that's very straightforward. This is the model garden page, trying to make your life easier. This is for a managed solution. Managed solutions, you create an API, but you don't need to worry too much about where is the machine, how is the machine configured, all of that, right? If you want to control all of that, if you want to have a better, I'd say lower level in terms of having more control over the machines, we offer also Google Kubernetes engine, where you can define your container and we'll take care of keeping it distributed and working fast, but you control everything. You have way more granular control of all the knobs. You can, of course, from there access GPUs, TPUs the same way you did with Vertex, but now you have more, I would say, control over all the details. And that depends on where you are in your journey to make a product. Sometimes just the managed service will work. Sometimes you want to go deeper and have more control. It's up to you. You have the choice. You can do any way you want. Again, we have tutorials to how to deploy the Gemma models on GKE, on Vertex, all of that. And there's another use case where imagine you have a lot of files, right, on a bucket, on a Google Cloud storage, a lot of them. And what you want to do is you want to go over all these files and, I don't know, extract sentiment from all of them, or summarizing, or applying something to these files. And you want to apply a model to these files. So one thing you can do is you can, using our streaming ML technology based on Dataflow ML, that you can define a pipeline that will execute asynchronously and will load your files, load the text on it, pre-process, do whatever you want, apply a model for each one of them, and then maybe save on a database. All of that as a pipeline that will keep running for as long as it's needed, and you can use, of course, a Gemma model there, any of the Gemma models. We have tutorial for that. That's also available Google Cloud. And of course, we cannot not speak of our colleagues from NVIDIA. They did a beautiful work optimizing Gemma models to run the best way possible on NVIDIA hardware, right? So they optimized, used the TensorRT LLM library, which is an open source library. And they have this on their website, ai.nvidia.com. You can go there and play. We have the weights available if you need. And it's super fast to run this on GPU. We work with them. So thank you very much for our friends there that help make Gemma models even faster. Okay, now we know what Gemma is. You know how to access. You know where to learn more about it. You know how to deploy this in production. You know how to do lots of very cool things. But one very important aspect when we start talking about AI, and I guess even more for generative AI, is the responsible AI aspect of it. Why this is important? Because when we build technology, we build to improve the life of people, right? We want to make sure that we are doing the best we can. We are deploying this in a way that's safe for everyone. To do that, that's why we have the responsible AI principles, and that's why when we developed the Gemma model, we had many aspects of responsible AI always in mind. So Gemma is safety by design. What does that mean is when we trained the model, we made sure that the data used to train the model was as safe as possible. Of course, we cannot be perfect, but we tried our best to make the data as clean and safe as possible. We used the best algorithms to keep the model as responsible as possible. We made sure that all the evaluations and all the benchmarks are as transparent as possible for the community to evaluate, to go and play with that. And we want to go even further and give you tooling to keep this responsible AI perspective also available to you whenever you try the model. That's why we released the Responsible Generative AI Toolkit when we released the model. It came with 3 things. You could create a safety classifier that enables you to see, after you fine-tune a model, for example, how safe does it continue being for your use case. So this is part of the tooling. You can also debug the model. We have model debugging for whenever you do a prompt, you see what happened there and how you get the response. And we, of course, have that the responsible AI guidance documentation all around that. As of yesterday and today, we also are releasing the LLM comparator, where you can compare 2 LLMs, one against each other, and you can see if their results, how they compare to each other. Sorry. We have one specific example that compares Gemma 1.1 against Gemma 1.0. It was a leap in performance, and you can notice, you can compare them with the 2. And you can compare against other LLMs, of course. But the idea is you have more tooling to keep the responsible perspective always in mind. Perfect. Now you understand all the journey. You know how to use the model. You know where to find more documentation. You know why it matters. You know what's new. You know how to deploy. And you know about the responsible AI part. What next, right? There's a couple of things you can do next. For example, you can go back to Kaggle and join a competition. There are a couple of competitions that we're running. There are always new ones coming. And then one thing that you might think, oh, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to do great on this competition. I know, I have the same feeling. But one thing I learned is when you go to one of these competitions, you learn so much from the others because they share their notebooks. They just share. Of course, they're not sharing the ones that are top on the benchmark, but they share some good ones anyway. And you can read and learn what other people are doing. And that's a great way of learning because you just see other people's code with explanation. And from there, you can just improve what you know. So I talked with many of the people that win these competitions, and their journey was like that. They start learning from others until they get to a point where they are good and they can compete. But their main idea is learning. I would go from there. If you're a researcher, Gemma models is great for you to base your research on, to continue from them. Because training a large language model from scratch requires a lot of resources. Gemma is a great base model for you to start your journey as a researcher. If you need to learn more about how to do specific tasks, our quick starts will help you get there. We have many quick starts already. We're adding more as soon as they come, right? If you were here for the Keras talk yesterday, we are trying to add all of those to our documentation so you can continue your journey. We added the chat that I showed earlier. We'll keep updating that so you can keep learning with us. And you can, as of now, download the model and start playing on your computer. It's very straightforward. you can start have a local assistant to help you with your questions. That's very cool. If you want to chat with us, we have a Discord channel. I try to be there as often as possible, but I also have to work. But you can join our Discord channel, ask your questions, bring your ideas, share what you learned, share with us all the cool things you like. So that's on our documentation. You can find it there. And if you subscribe to our social media channels, so you know what's new whenever a new version comes, whenever there's a new tutorial, or anytime that we publish things about Gemma, that's also a good way. And now it's on you now. I would like to know what you're going to build with the Gemma models. I'm very excited because this enables everyone to play with the model on their own things. And this is very, very powerful. I'm very glad to be here talking to you today. I hope that this talk helped you understand a little bit better, and that after this you just go and download and have fun and share with us what you learned. So thank you very much.